Change clothes. Stop pressing it. I think it's telling you it's out of battery. Oh, we haven't put the thingy. That's why it's doing that. Professional YouTubers right here.
Yeah. Your phone, because.
There you go.
Hello, guys. You can see how professional we are.
No, because it's a new one. So hold on. Do you tell people?
It's not a new one. It's got the
Do you
same.
tell people?
Yes. So we're trying to work out the problems.
Yeah, but it's a new one. It's not the same one.
Hi, Mike. Jay, is this a different one or is it the same?
No, it's a different one.
And I'm going to go tell everybody to look for the new
I'm
one.
doing that.
Oh, okay. Or Jay can tell them. Nothing goes easy. Thank you very much, Mike. Got work party tonight. Is it work or is it a party? Jay says hello. Mrs. Spec doesn't have her microphone on yet.
No.
She's trying to find the live on the channel. That should be the one.
Yep.
No, Mike, not Geo Metro. This is called a Chevy.
Stop staring.
That's all it's called. There's no name. Well, they did put the name Joy on it
Stop
at
staring.
the beginning. Hello, Lester. Welcome.
Hey guys. Sorry, I just woke up, so I have my coffee and my carrot bread. What's in the channel? Mike is in the channel. Jay's in the channel. Jay.
Hello, Uno.
Lester's in the channel.
We already got Lester. Hello, Lester. She works at night, Jay. So I let her sleep till 1 o'clock. Then you get ready for this.
Yeah, I went to bed. Actually, I couldn't sleep last night, so I think I went to bed at like 7 a.m. Hey, oh no, I don't have a churro, but I do have a carrot bread, so it makes less noise.
Which is two things that should not go together.
It is really tasty.
We'll let that one go. How do you know? You haven't opened it yet.
But I love carrot bread.
Oh, it doesn't mean you're going to love this one.
Well, hopefully it's good, but I do love carrot bread on a regular basis.
How does let me see the image. The image looks even, but the bottom looks like it's at an angle, which is weird, but I'll leave it like that.
Because of the camera.
Yeah, but, I mean,
because
image.
It's like this.
Yeah, but the image is level with the bottom, but it looks fine there. It just looks up like that on the bottom, so I'll just leave it like that. It's the image that's...
Buff Del Campo's here.
Hi, Buff. Thank you for sticking around through the problems.
Uno says carrot bread. Is that as terrible as carrot cake?
It's about the same thing.
I guess it's like carrot cake without the frosting.
Even putting chocolate on it won't help.
If you don't like carrot cake, then yeah, I guess you won't like it, but I do love it. Jay likes carrot cake, see? I have one in my side.
Yeah, one. The rest of us are against you. I'll speak for the rest of them.
You're so rude.
This is a little Volkswagen that was not sold in the U.S. It's called a Pointer. They're all over the place here. Came in a 3-door, 5-door, or a station wagon. Little economy car. You got the job done for very little money.
Jay says interesting looking. Interesting?
A little 2-door hatchback, so.
Una says, I think if you loaded these images to a private video on YouTube, you could play the video during the stream and be on camera as well. Yeah, but we don't want to be on camera. I didn't do my hair.
And I won't be on camera for other reasons. This is a Ram Charger that I just found. It's a pretty clean truck, and it has a factory stick shift. So I'm going to be publishing it soon and see if I can get somebody on it, because it's a low mile truck, really nice, not original interior, but nice, and a factory stick shift, which is very rare.
Chris is here.
Hi, Chris.
And Jay says, Mex has got a face for radio.
We'll go with that. We'll go with that as the reason. You know, maybe I should, when I save these pictures, I should go through and crop them so they can be more centered, because people don't know how to take pictures of their vehicles. Why do they leave so much empty space and cut off the truck? You know?
Mm-hmm. Uno said he's got warrants.
No, that's not the case. I live in a very dangerous area, and I don't want anybody here knowing what I do.
Yeah.
I've been here for over a quarter of a century, and people do know me, so I don't want them to connect my face with the business. So I try to stay off camera. We've already been through that with the people here and don't want to do it again. It should be a fun truck to drive back if I do get a buyer on it.
Is that the one that you were talking about?
What?
The stick shift?
Yeah. And it works with a baby seat too.
Cool.
So that'll work. But it's a base model, so it doesn't have all the options that the SLT Plus has, but it has the stick shift. Here's another little Joy, and it actually says Joy on the side.
Joy?
Yeah. That was the name of it when it was introduced, and they dropped a name. Somebody put that on there that didn't come on the car originally. And those are not the taillights for it either. Somebody updated the taillights.
Jay says he could show us, but then he'd have to unalive us.
I'm not going to comment on that, Jay. Tavo.
Hey, Tavo.
Good morning, Tavo. Thank you for getting up so early. Kind of made it?
You made it.
Are you half awake? Or half asleep?
Same, Tavo, same.
But she's drinking her coffee, so by the time the pictures are finished after the first hour, she'll be back with us.
How's tomorrow doing?
Tomorrow morning.
Tavo says yes to both of those.
Mm-hmm. It's very early there.
Yeah.
Chevy Love, anybody? You may not recognize it as a Chevy Love, but that's what it is. The Suzu-made 4-door Chevy Love. It's a nice color on it, on this one.
Uno says, Taco, did you mail that country buggy to Canada yet? I think he's saying Taco, but maybe.
Taba, would you even be able to find a country buggy there after all this time? Did anybody save any of them? That's a nice looking truck.
Yeah. Isuzu knows?
It's kind of a Suzu, yeah.
Tavo says that little Chevy was sold here as a Holden Barina, and the Love was a Holden Rodeo.
The Rodeo in the U.S. was an SUV. They put that name on an open bed pickup there, Tavo. Hello, Mark.
Here.
Thanks for sticking around.
Stop taking my job.
You're too slow.
I was waiting for you to stop talking.
Since when do you do that?
Since I'm talking in front of people.
And what do you want, little cat? We're not here for you.
That was his correct pickup rodeo.
So they just threw the names around and put them on anything.
Chris says, speaking of the Canadian contingent,
Were we talking about him, Chris? I won't admit to that. Go in the hole. Go in there, Danny. See if there's any spiders in there.
no more spiders.
What does it smell like? Who does it smell like? And here's a four-door Ranger that I think 2003 or 2004 was the first year. I've had people ask me for these. But it won't be it'll be a couple of years yet before I'll be able to send one over.
Tabo says, yes, there's a few restored country buggies around, but pretty sure the owners wouldn't part with them, not for sensible money at least.
Yeah.
And Jay says Mazda.
Looks like a Ford Ranger to me. People get crazy with the interiors. There's a place in Guadalajara that'll redo an OBS Chevy front seat. And he does it in all kinds of colors and color combinations and styles and puts cup holders and all kinds of stuff.
Mark says, almost looks like a Ranger version of a sport truck.
Ranger version of a sport truck? Sport track.
Track.
Okay. Yeah, the sport track was an Explorer with an open bed.
Jay says Mazda made the Ranger, I thought.
No, Ford made the Ranger, and Ford also made the Mazda pickup in those years.
Tabo says back soon off the feed gato. Okay.
Okay. Give him a little special, something special from us.
Uno says, did you get those Baywatch Rangers Reg Cab steps height 4x4s?
You're talking about the Splash models, Uno? I don't think we did. They didn't sell things that, oh, well, let's just change the bed because we want to change the bed. No, everything was utilitarian here.
Mm-hmm.
So you bought what they had on the lot. Most of them were regular cab short beds. And then they came out with the extra cab and they started selling those. But you know what kind of car this is?
Chris says, wasn't the Mazda B2000 a rebadged Ranger?
The first ones were a rebadged Courier, Chris. And then the B2300 was a rebadged Ranger.
Jay says, my boss back in the day had a Splash. And Bob Del Campo says 56 T-Bird.
Yep. It's here, and I don't even think it's that expensive for what the car is, and it has a factory stick shift in it. So, I don't know. They don't go for a whole lot, but it is a stick shift Thunderbird. I just wonder what engine it has under the hood.
Uno says, yes, Splash. Nobody else knows the Splash. I want a Splash in white or blue.
I picture a Splash in bright yellow because those are the bright colors that they used on them to attract the younger crowd. But that's the one that I have stuck in my head.
And Chris says, was his Splash steel? Uno says, El Thunder of Birdo. Mark says, I work at a Ford dealer. I asked to purchase if you could order a reg cab,
Regular cab.
a regular cab, short bed, two-wheel drive, 4.0 liter Ranger. First he said no, then said yes as a fleet vehicle.
Well, that's weird because at Chevy we had the 4.3 regular cab S10s, two-wheel drives. I don't know why you wouldn't be able to order that.
Jay says, my boss had a blue one 4x4. Boxer Campo says 57 Ford Custom 300.
Yeah, with a lot of red paint on it and a newer interior. They did a lot of work on it to make it clean. That's a clean engine compartment.
Mark Soe says you could order it as a 4x4 but not a two-wheel drive.
That's weird. I don't know why they would make that a specification. Are you talking about a specific splash or just a regular cab? Just a regular cab truck. When I was working at the Chevy dealer, they had this bright idea of taking the base model, the 4-cylinder stick shift, absolutely no option truck, and sending them out to be lowered and put wheels on them and stuff. Oh, those were a nightmare for me when they kept breaking shocks and stuff, and I had to replace them. I had to have them replaced and fix them. Man, that was terrible.
Bob the Campos says wrong engine, but that's okay. Mark says not a splash, just a baseline truck.
Well, then there shouldn't have been a problem ordering it.
And Jay says 2.5 Iron Duke.
Yep. This is a Volvo Amazon, they call it. What it's doing, I really don't know.
Where's it from?
It's got Jalisco plates.
No, but like
It's a Swedish car. But I don't know if it was sold here originally or imported from the U.S. or imported from Sweden. I don't know.
Uno says later in the build cycle, the splash was renamed the Edge, and it was only for F4 in Canada.
Yeah, I remember seeing that name on them. But in '94, I was living in Oregon, and this one girl, that was her dream truck, the new Ranger Splash. So it didn't make any sense to me to have a smaller bed.
Jay says love classic Volvos. Uno says that's called a Volvo Canadian up here.
Really? They changed the name?
And Chris says nice old Volvos.
I didn't even know it had a name. In the U.S., they didn't really call it Amazon. They just had the designation, the P or whatever. But people started calling them Amazon, which is what they call them in Europe. Does have the European taillights, though.
Jay says I want a Volvo P1800.
The sporty version. Those are really expensive now. They didn't used to be, but they are now. Danny, we're watching you.
Jay says 122 or 144 or something, but it was the Amazon.
It said 122 on the back window of this thing. But there's a lot of cars like this around Mexico that stay in people's garages. So you never really know they're even here. It's got a brand new license plate from Jalisco. So
Mark says in the 80s, the same dealer sold a ton of regular cab, short bed, 2.3 liter two-wheel drive manual with no options, all in red. Called them the Red Hot Rangers. In 1984, they were only $99 a month.
yeah, those days are long gone. But I'm surprised you couldn't buy the 6-cylinder in the regular cab.
It's a
Two-wheel
jumper.
drive. It's got hydraulics on it.
So yes.
Yeah. Beautiful color too on the car.
And Jay says some ladies cracked P1800 that was solid. They gave her $175.
And they probably resold it. Because the scrap yards don't always scrap the vehicles.
Tavo says now that car we call the Impala down here.
Yeah, that's an Impala. It's got 3 taillights on it. The door is a different color.
Is it?
They didn't paint the inside of the door, like a beige color.
Mm.
I hate these guys that only do half the work.
Jay says nope. The P 1800 wasn't not 1900 wasn't the big pull yard. I posted it.
Oh, well, that's too bad.
That was a fun one we kept the same name for.
That car was sold there, or they were all imported. The Impala. This looks like a Mercedes. European headlights.
A lot of windows.
Look at that interior. It's like perfect for an early 60s car. Absolutely gorgeous. Can't beat a Mercedes for quality. See that thing on the door right there?
Mm-hmm.
That the door has a pin that goes in there. So the door never sags. It always closes exactly like it did the first day it was made. Never a problem with that.
That says Impala was locally assembled from Fisher body and some local parts.
That's interesting. You don't see too many of them anymore there, do you? I hope they can't hear me swallowing.
I don't think so.
You heard Tony swallowing.
Mm-hmm. What kind of microphone does he have?
I don't know. Car's been in Mexico for a while. 1974, 1975. It looks like they would. It should have turn signals right there.
Mm-hmm.
That little like bullets.
Mm-hmm.
But since it has the European headlights, the turn signals on top of the headlights. So
Dean Stevenson is here.
welcome, Dino.
He says, I would have been here earlier, but I had to set some people straight on a muscle car junior Facebook site. Okay, so you were out fighting. Okay.
You have a job to do, Dean. We can't argue with that.
Tavo says, surprisingly, we do see them getting about mostly from 62 to 67 models.
I'll take the 67 model over all of them.
Jay says, I thought Kay Don't Play was coming here.
She was here. About 66 minutes early. So maybe she'll come back. Now this is a clean Datsun Bluebird. You don't see many of these around except on Scott's channel, Cold War Motors. But they're rebuilding theirs. This one's done.
I didn't read it. There you go.
It's got newer wheel covers, but they seem to work well with this car.
Tavo says, that's a Bluebird.
Yep. It says it on one side, but not on this side. So people along the curb, they don't need to know what it looks like. Mark, the 510 is a much squarer car that is the one that followed this. I don't think this one was as popular as the 510. What?
Nothing.
Your shirt does not smell.
It does not. It does not.
No. I smelled it before I put it on.
Tavo says, the fact that replaced this one.
Yeah, I don't think this one came in a two-door though, Towel. I don't know if it did over there, but I haven't seen one. They're all four doors, which is people didn't want to really put together a four-door when the 510 came out with a two-door.
I have to do longer.
And people, yes, after this, and people just went crazy over them.
Tavo says, still see some of those Bluebirds and O's too.
That's what they call Australia, Oz.
Okay. I've never heard that from Bondi Rescue, so I wouldn't know. Tavo says, 510 only came in four-door here and imported wagons.
The same with us, Tavo. We didn't get any two doors, but in the U.S. they did, and since they were basically worthless for most of their lives, the kids bought them and modified them and just loved them after that. So now they're worth a lot of money. A two-door in really bad condition is bringing over $10,000. It's absolutely crazy.
Mark says, I always thought the 510 looked almost the same as a Lada, and a Fiat.
That's not a compliment,
Okay,
Mark. Not a compliment at all.
and a Fiat.
Yeah, the Fiat Strada looked a lot like the Lada.
Ooh, what's that?
Yeah, the 65 Galaxy in black. In black.
It says lol, I know. Jay says, Ladas are cool. Did you pronounce it Ladas?
Lada.
Okay.
It's a Russian car, and it should stay in Russia.
Dean Stevenson says, I always thought Donald Campbell should have taken Datsun to court over the use of the Bluebird name.
Can you elaborate on that, Dean? God, I'm gonna regret saying that.
You're so rude. Lone Range Garage is here.
Hey, Lone Wrench. I was thinking about you because I just watched a video of Mr. T being roasted by the famous comedians in 1984. Gary Coleman was there, Ricky Schroeder was there, and he really laughed a lot about what people were saying about him. So George Papard was sitting next to him too. The A-Team.
Dean answered with, I like butter too. And that was his Galaxy. Like that was also assembled here, but only in 4-door. Uno says, why don't you say hola amigos instead of hi friends to start the video?
Because most of my viewers are not from here.
Also, his Spanish is crap.
So I've heard.
He's not crap, but like he has a really thick accent. Like just like no. Like,
Hola amigos. Hola amigos.
Like if you don't know, if you don't expect like American accent to come out of his mouth, you're not gonna know what he's saying. So I have to translate for him a lot, even when he's speaking Spanish. So Jay says, I love the A-Team, and when a plan comes together.
That's right. And the plan always came together as far the writers made sure of it.
Dean Stevenson says, Lada equals butter. Butter, bing, bang, boom.
You're just writing things like that for her to say it, aren't you, Dean?
Okay. As long as you don't say anything.
I just published this card today with videos and everything. It's a very, very straight B-body.
Mark says, where do you originate from, Mix?
I was born here but grew up in California, Mark. And then in '89 I moved to Vegas because California is crap. That's not why I moved, though. We opened up a business in Las Vegas. And everything started from there.
He says 10-4. I know 10-4.
Carney's taillights, but I'm sure you can get the taillight lenses. This is the video that the guy sent me.
Jay says, how much was that Volvo Amazon?
Way too much. It's not a car that I'm publishing because the price is so high. I just figured you guys want to see it. Would like to see it.
Hold this while I open my bread.
Cover the microphone.
I'm not
all that cellophane's gonna make a lot of noise.
I have a knife.
A lot of these cards that I'm putting on here are not cars that I'm publishing because of the prices, but I want to show nice cars that are in Mexico. People are caring for. This would be a really nice driver, although he did put the gear shift lever on the floor from the column, and in my experience, that does not work well. But maybe it was done right. I'm not sure.
It's cinnamony.
Are you unwrapping a chocolate churro?
No, it's a carrot cake.
Close enough.
Carrot bread. It's cinnamony. It's really good.
Yes, Mark, that's a... What car was that from? That was a K car steering wheel from a Caravan or something. but the turn signal lever looks like it's original to the car. I didn't. There is no picture from the right side of the steering column to see if the collar is still on there.
Mhm.
Although it looks like it isn't. But either way, it was not an original stick shift because the lever would not be in that position. Can you tell this is a Mexican truck?
Why?
The fender well in the back, that's level, and
It has Spanish flag.
well, no, the shape of the bed.
It has a Spanish flag. Mm, Wait. Mark says, hold on. Mark says, I drove taxi in the 90s and drove a lot of diplomats. Same steering wheel.
Yeah.
Tavo says, los gatos juegan peleando y destruyen la casa. Smack him.
Mark, when people can't find something here, they grab whatever they can. They go to the junkyard. They'll find it. Hey, that's from a Chrysler or whatever, and they'll throw it on there, and it works. So
Long Range says, the bed looks funny on it.
yes, it is a very different bed on the Mexican trucks of those years. It had like almost fender skirts. The rear fender was really low, and the bed is completely square.
Jay says, I just subscribed to the Lambo lady. I asked if she would come on my stream, on my live stream.
Well, that's pretty forward, asking a woman onto your live stream. She doesn't even know you. Who's the Lambo lady? Is she the one that drives around the black Lambo, like a Batman thing? The old woman.
I don't spend spend that much time on YouTube, so I wouldn't know people. Tavo says we should have built a version of the Barracuda here.
Were there any mid-sized cars sold there? I mean, besides the Valiant, I guess the Valiant would already cover that market.
Mark says, yep, better than Cuba, though, where they will install a four-cylinder from a Russian car into a 57 Chevy and use it as a taxi.
Yeah.
Jay says, she drives a Hurricane and a BMW M4.
But is the Hurricane painted up, to look like something? Because I've seen that woman. She was on a Netflix show.
Dean says, I prefer Arriba Taniwa, my favorite greeting. Arriba Taniwa. No, I don't know. Long Range Garage says, hot the like button. And then he says, hit.
Oh, hit. Well, you could hot it too. You could fire it up. It looks like leather interior. Real leather.
Tabo says, yes, but the Barracuda was Valiant based. We had no coupe in that day until the 71 Charger.
Okay.
Jay says, no, it's a gray Hurricane and she's easy in the ice. On the ice?
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Does anybody know what this car is? Buff might know what this car is. There's a mosquito flying around here.
Only one?
I just saw it go past the screen. It's flying in front of the screen. We can't kill a mosquito on a live. I don't think YouTube would appreciate that. Are you trying to read Dean's?
Yeah, sorry, Dean. I'm trying, but.
If nobody knows what this car is, it's called a Borg Ward. I don't know where it's from. I don't know how it got to Mexico, but it's here.
Okay, Came on a Hot Friday, Arriba Taniwa refers to the classic New Zealand film Came on a Hot Friday, which features the iconic Tainui Kid character played by Billy T. James.
Made in Mexico.
So it's a reference to something.
The Borg Ward was made in Mexico, in Monterey. Wow, I didn't know that.
Jay says it's a cool car.
It's the
Mark
first one I've ever seen.
Mark says not a Renault, is it? I say that because of the diamond. Chris says Borgward was German.
Well, apparently it was made in Mexico, as the plate said, in Monterey. I've never seen another one here.
Tavo says, "Ooh, we had an earlier Borgward down here. Smaller car. Am I saying that correctly? Borgward."
Board, yeah.
Okay. Mark says Borgward is a German manufacturer.
It was, but that said, made in Mexico. And I mean, I wonder if this is the only one I've ever seen. How many did they actually sell? Did they have dealers, or were they sold through other places? I don't know. It's not the most attractive vehicle in the world. Kind of interesting options.
Jay says, "I've never heard of Borgward."
Yeah, it's not a
Nonton?
common name, and it's not a name that flows off the tongue.
No.
So, ooh, this is nice.
That looks like a movie still.
This is nice.
Uh, Pit Snipe Husker is here.
Hello, Pitt.
He says, "Hey y'all, stopping through to drop a like during halftime."
So you're watching sports ball, huh?
Sports ball. How dare you? Mark says, "Hey, we have Toyotas manufactured here in Canada, and they're still a Japanese vehicle."
Yeah.
Which means that you have a German vehicle in Mexico.
Yep. A half breed. But where are you gonna find parts for that?
Jay says, "Was Bogart a Mexican-made Yugo?"
No, it's a German. It was a German manufacturer, and somehow one of them got made in Mexico. I don't know how.
Pit Snipe says, "Huskers, baby. They look poopy."
So they're doing not so well. What looks better than a black Galaxy Fastback?
What's poopy?
Come on, not doing well. He can't put the real word on there.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Chris says, "I want to say Borgward went insolvent in maybe 1967 or so." Insolvent?
Yeah, they went bankrupt.
Dean says, "My dad's best friend was a General Electric traveling salesman. He had a Borgward. The company was bankrupted by a series of financial crunches. Was made in Mexico for some time after the collapse."
So they brought all the tooling over here then?
Pittsnipe says, up 14-7 at the halftime. They can't block their way out of a wet paper bag. Is it American football? Is that
Yes.
okay?
It's football, not football. There's a
It's
difference.
American football.
Yes. That's what you call football. Not football.
Do you want me to bite you?
It's a very
Did
different.
you want me to bite
It's a
you?
very different
Did
thing.
you want me to bite you? That was a
throw
ball.
ball. Yeah.
Okay.
Throw ball, not kickball.
That's why I say American. It's easier to understand. Mark says, "That's not a fastback. I had a 73 Mustang and the fastback was with the long back window. My Mustang was a Grande, which had that style window."
Well, they call it a sports roof. Most people generically call it a fastback. Because it's not the coupe, which didn't have that roof. The two-door hardtop.
Dean says, "Yeah, just like the Simca and Kaiser in Brazil." Kaiser? Is that a car brand?
Kaiser was a car brand in the U.S. in the 50s.
Isn't that? Oh, that's that. Kaiser is now a brand of something else. But anyway.
It's a bit too German, which people didn't even realize at the time.
Pittsnipe says it's a very nuanced pronunciation difference. Low.
Yes. One has an accent over the U in foot.
I will bite you.
The computer tells me.
I will bite you. It's American football, and that's it. Leave it at that. Jay says Mrs. Spec gets the reference to sports ball, which is a tongue-in-cheek dig about people who like watching sporting events. That is amazing to me.
Tony, that's what Tony calls it, so we'll go with that.
Yeah, okay. I don't necessarily like sports, but I can enjoy.
You're gonna lose your money, Chris.
What? Fight my money's on Mrs. Spec. Hey, I can turn off the stream right now. Stop it.
And you'll send them all to their rooms?
Yeah.
I think Pitt's already in his room watching football.
Dean says Ford France had a compact car with a flathead V8. The company was sold to Simca and then sold to the Brazilian Willys Kaiser concern. They made 2.3-liter Hemi V8 version until 1969. Businesses, watch out for that shirt.
Yep. That's why I only buy her soft shoes.
That's why I don't have any boots.
That's right.
I want my boots.
That's
right. Jay says, I know Tony calls it that, especially during the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Dean says, I need a timeout.
Jay, give Dean a timeout.
Tavo says, now we don't see those here anymore. Volkswagen Type 3 Fastback made lots of them here. And Chris says, now that is a fastback. I don't even know what we're watching anymore.
Yeah, it's a Volkswagen. But it's an automatic Volkswagen. Who bought an automatic Type 3 Volkswagen? Who was crazy enough to do that?
Mark says, that's what my 73 Volkswagen Fastback looked like.
Yep, the big taillights and all. But it's an automatic.
Mark says, an automatic. I also had computerized fuel injection.
So lots of things could break down. Anybody recognize what this green car is?
Mark says, me, I bought two.
But why? Were they given to you?
Jay says, the 1927 designed Blue Flame inline six-cylinder. Actually, sure it's 1927. Designed Blue Flame inline six-cylinder was retro-engineered by Toyota and produced in South America until 2002. Are we sure it's 1927?
Yes.
Okay.
Inline six.
Dean says, airborne moccasin duck. Tabo says, my ex-girlfriend did in the 80s, Type 3 automatic.
But why?
Pregúntale a ella.
Volkswagen was not known for their good automatic transmission.
Chris says the Type 3 automatic was a normal 3-speed, pretty robust transmission. IIRC. I don't know what that means. And this Silvestre is still throwing shoes. Lester saying Tornado.
Yes, it's a 1971 Toronado that should have a 455 under the hood. But as I looked at the pictures, the description of it says it has a 350 under the hood. And I'm like, nope, without the big engine, I'm not even looking at that car.
Fox de Campo also said Tornado.
Yeah.
Jay says, look, Chrysler. Mark Saves says, no, $500 for the pair. I never did anything with them. Lost interest after a wasp stung me.
Oh, so you didn't buy it to drive it as your only vehicle. Okay, well, I bought a lot of crazy stuff too. I even bought a Volvo. It was a 69 Volvo or something, the square one. Drove it a few times, parked it in the storage yard.
So you guys are just buying cars for the hell of it?
Sure.
Okay.
Why not?
Just saying. Dean says the Great Tornado EU. I don't know. What do you want me to do with that? But no. Jay says those big engines were boat anchors in the Malaise era.
Yes, Jay, but that is in 1971 when it would still have had all of its horsepower. So the fact that they took it out and put a 350 in there is just bad.
Mm.
This is a Charger, and it looks like it has Jeep seats in it with that extra cushion there. Mark says, I was going to get one running, but like I said, lost interest and no money either. That's crazy. I wouldn't trust an automatic. Yes. Why not buy cars for the heck of it, Jay says. Exactly.
Because of the money. You keep reading.
Oh, Buff Del Campo. 71 still had power. Yes, it did. You could burn those wheels all the way down the road. That's sad, Spec. Yes, it is. But this is Mexico, so if something happens to the engine, there are no 455s here to replace it with. So I guess he did what he did to get it running. I don't know how he got the transmission to bolt up to it, though. Lester says, I saw a video where a Gen Z guy called a tornado or tornado. Well, if you see that video again, Lester, tell him that the tornado is a very small Chevy pickup in Mexico. So he can't
Tornado or Tornado?
No, tornado. So he can't use that name for the tornado.
Wait, Tornado or Tornado?
Tornado was Oldsmobile. The small Chevy truck, off the little Chevy, is called Tornado.
Yeah. Okay.
I like blue cars for some reason in this. Somebody lowered this car too. But this is my favorite front end. The grill that goes all the way across. It was the cheap models, but it looks the best.
Buff Del Campo says, use the 350 Oldsmobile engine.
It'll bolt right up to where the big block was, Buff? Or were there no big block engines for Oldsmobile?
Jay says, my wife is mad at me because our driveway looks like a used car lot.
Well, Jay, you got to think about trading in the wife. If she's not a car person, it's going to be difficult.
I do have to say, I made a new friend recently, and one of the first things that I did when he came over to my house first time is show him my backyard full of cars. I was like, you have to see this. I have so many cars.
And most of them are registered to you.
Yeah, they're mine.
Yes.
Sorry. Mark says it may be a 350 Olds engine. Trans will bolt up.
Okay, well, that's probably why it's driving around today.
Mark says Tornado and Tornado. Yeah, that's what I was asking. Uno says Toronacho or Tornacho. Oh, nachos. I haven't had nachos in a while. We used to have them like pretty much every weekend.
That's because we didn't have any money to buy anything else.
Fair,
but the prices keep going up on them for what you get.
Nachos here are really good.
Only from Los Nachos.
Yeah, only from Los Nachos. But nachos here are a thing. They're not like just chips and queso. They are specifically corn chips, specific corn chips, and they have beans and this melted cheese, and then this what do you call it, granulated cheese?
Yeah.
Your granulated cheese on top, and you can put some kind of meat on it if you want. It's really good. It's not like the ones that you get at the movie theater. Dean says all BOP bell housings are the same as the Oldsmobile THM 425 gearbox.
That made it easier for him then.
Jay says a posted an AI generated picture of what a 2026 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme would look like.
How would anybody know?
AI would know.
There's no G body. Hasn't been any G body since late 1987.
Buffalo Campos says yes, it'll bolt up.
Okay.
Mark says yeah, BOP transmission bolt pattern.
That's good.
Gearhead is here.
Hello, Gearhead. Thank you for joining us.
And he says fillers and fillets. Dean Stevenson says Betty Bop. Dean is like I don't know. I like you, Dean. Dean, you're nice. You're like my brain when I haven't taken my medication. Definitely. Fitz says all rocket engines had the big block transport pattern.
Okay, now the question is, where did he get an Oldsmobile 350 in Mexico? Because we didn't have Oldsmobiles here.
Jay says, I've had the wife for 21 years. I've got the keeper now. See? He's a good one.
Not necessarily.
Hey, stop it!
Tell her one of the cars is hers. That usually works. I've done it a few times.
Yeah. Mark says, nachos. Uno says, 21-year-old car have no resale value. Good plan, Formicars. Formicars says, sorry, Jay says, we love queso. You mean queso? That's a word, like, we don't really say queso here, by the way. Gearhead says to Jay, tired of all the fake hype behind all the AI cars, but some of them look good. Mark Sobes says, lol, Mac 1, my dad, being French, would call it a match.
They do the same thing here, Mark.
Yeah.
I try to correct them whenever I can. Match 1. Nope. Nope. That's a hard K there, Mark.
Mark says, I still have the fuel filler cap from my 73 Mustang.
Why isn't it still on your 73 Mustang? Where it should be.
Dean says, oops, loving cult. Chris says, Maverick. Dean says,
There are some pretty nice Mavericks here.
I do it all the time. Mrs. Ecstasy isn't a car person.
Why do you people not marry car people? It avoids a lot of problems.
Mark says, could be a Buick 350 or a Pony 350 as well. Would still bolt up.
Well, all we have here are Chevy 350s, so I don't know. We didn't have Buicks other than the Nova that had a Buick front end.
Jay says to Uno, I told my wife when she turned 40 I was going to trade her in for two 20-year-olds, but I don't text that well.
No, Jay, one woman, one problem. Two women, two problems. Not a good plan.
Bigfoot is here. Bigfoot and Mopers.
Hey, Bigfoot, how's your 63 doing?
He says, I'm at work but wanted to say hi. Mark says it was actually a spare fuel cap since they were easy to steal.
It didn't have the metal ring on it to hold it on there?
Gearhead says AMC Mustang.
Mustang 2.
Uno says nachos and agua fresca and some of that watermelon rolling tahini. Oh, watermelon. Oh, you're making me hungry.
Why do you keep bringing up things that she wants to eat, Uno, that I have to go out and get her?
Oh, I'm hungry. Tavo says one of my relationships ended with 4 words. It's only a car, she said.
How wrong she is. Or was.
That's sad, Tavo. I'm sorry. I hope you kept the car. Chris says, lol, Jay, I told my wife I need to make change 220s for a 40. Dean Stevenson, she presented as a car person, but she later became an unbeliever.
Well, get that believer back. Do hypnotism or whatever you need to do.
Mark says, not this style of fuel cap.
Oh, that's it. Maybe that was on the Maverick. I'm not sure. One of the cars had that. Maybe it was the earlier Mustangs.
Gearhead says, pickled watermelon. I've never tried that. I don't think I would like pickled watermelon, but I've never tried it.
Why would you want to make a sweet watermelon like tangy?
Yeah. I don't know. I like fresh fruit. I like my fruit fresh. Dean says, when I said 351 Windsor 4 BBL.
4-barrel.
Okay. One day it pushed poor Mrs. Ecstasy over the edge.
It didn't take much, did it?
Piss Knife Husker. Well, for me, it was not the name of the car. It was like, where am I gonna put it? Because there's no more room. It's like, now you cannot have another car. Where are we gonna put it? Um, Piss Knife says, for me, it was the dog sleeps outside.
Our dogs have their own room,
Yeah.
so they have their own beds, their own air conditioner, their own door to get out to the backyard.
We had the same problem with animals once we started living together. I was like, no animals, not dogs in the bed, but that's because I was getting allergies from it. And since we could make a room for them specifically, there was no issue with that. They have their everything for themselves.
Yeah.
Mark says, long ago I was on a blind date, told her I drag race. When I dropped her off, she says, so you like to watch racing? That was the end.
Watch? You like to watch?
Tavo says Ford Courier.
It was a Ford Courier, yeah, earlier.
Jay says, I love the watermelon soda at Epcot by Coca-Cola.
You have to drink it, huh?
Gearhead says spicy pickled watermelon is tangy and then has a sweet finish. Tavo says rebatch Mazda B2000.
Yes.
Am I talking too loud? Sometimes I talk too loud. Dean Stevenson says, with her 5 years, she was so nice. She was lovey-dovey.
Whatever works, Dean.
Lester says, we pick non-car loving wives because opposites attract.
No, there has to be limits, Lester. No. I would never want somebody that's going to fight with me over the cars because that person would lose out.
Chris says, wife wasn't necessarily a car person, but I trained her. So she now drives a turbo 5-speed and knows enough about cars to not kill the car.
That's good. But hopefully, she'll want the next one and the next one and the next one. That's what car people do.
Pitsnipe says, okay, I got a ball game to yell at. Take care, y'all.
Okay.
Have fun, Pitsnipe.
Hope they win, I think.
Mark says, Lester, my wife loves cars. Won't let me sell my drag car. Mm, Jay says, Mrs. Beck, how was the girls' night out? It was so much fun. It was so much fun, especially because we went to a coffee shop and we had like a nice tasty meal with coffee. We were talking about books. It was a book club night out. And then after that, we went to how do you call it? The
La Plaza.
Yeah, but in English.
La Plaza.
Okay, we
I
went to
don't
a
know.
plaza, and that plaza is named 27th of September, and it happened to be 27th of September. So were having a party for the plaza, and there was so many things to go to do. There was music playing, there was fireworks, everything was so much fun. And yeah, ended up spending all our money on food and doing things out there.
Did you guys notice the roof, the cab on the Chevy Love? I've never seen one like that before. Somebody extended the cab to make it longer. Not really an extra cab because it doesn't have a window, but they extended the cab. I've never seen anything like that before on a Chevy Love. Now we're into a Nova SS, which would be a Malibu Rally here.
Jay wants to know where the pics are. I didn't take that many pics, honestly. I'm not much of a pic taker.
No,
I took pics of the food.
of course you did.
Yeah, but like, no. Lester says, you're lucky, Mark. Tavo says, that model with it called Chevy Love. Dean says, Tango Melon. Tango Melon? Mark says, Lester broke through low. Oh, broke though, low. Gearhead says, nice Nova.
Yeah, too bad it's an automatic. Most of them were stick shifts here.
Jay says, I want to build a death-proof Nova. What's a death-proof?
How do you death proof a Nova?
What's a death-proof car?
I don't know. Jay will have to tell us.
Is it a death-proof as in the car will never die, or is it a death-proof as in you will never die inside that car? Like with a roll cage and stuff. I'm confused. Um, Dean says, I enjoyed the fight. I had to fight my handicapped sister for the remote during uh for the jeez. Hold on. I had to fight my handicapped sister for the remote control to watch Chips in 1977. This is a fight I can always win. You're so rude. Tavo says Mexican Spec Volkswagen.
Yeah, this is called a Brasilia. It was a Brazilian design that they gave permission for Mexico to build here in the two-door hatchback model. They had a four-door hatchback model in Brazil, but people have done quite a. It's got the Type 1 Beetle engine in it, as most of them do. Most Volkswagens do here. This is just a bigger, stretched out Beetle, basically.
Chris says looks like a Brasilia.
That's because it is a Brazilian.
Mark says Death Proof was a movie with Kurt Russell. Also, you want to make a card out of a movie, okay? Kurt Russell.
Never heard of the movie.
Gearhead says the Hot Wheels wide body Nova is a nice design.
I don't think I've seen it. I haven't bought Hot Wheels in a long, long time since I stopped selling them here.
Jay says Quentin Tarantino film Death Proof, Kurt Russell, and a hot blonde rose. I've never heard of it.
Kurt Russell married a hot blonde and had a hot blonde as a daughter.
No, yeah. Obviously that's what they.
Well, of course. You got to be able to open your beer
That's
bottles.
what they advertise.
Got to open your beer bottles, you know.
Rose McGowan. Is that?
Oh, I don't think she's hot at all. She was on Charmed.
Then it's not the Rose that I know.
And she was also with Marilyn Manson for a while.
That says, who remembers Hot Wheels Sizzlers?
Yeah. I sold all the Hot Wheels here to people that didn't have them. I got famous doing that.
Yep. Glenn says, you're killing me, buddy. It's CWM time and you're on, but I'm here for you.
Cold War Motors. Yes, it's Saturday, but you can watch their video anytime because it's not a live. He says he's only going to do a live maybe twice a year. I told him, we won't be angry if you do it more. We really won't. So he's taking it under consideration.
Gearhead does remember the Sizzlers.
Yeah.
Jay says, an actress from Australia too, I think. No, I only know one, Rose.
Rose McGowan was not from Australia. She was on Charmed. She was dating Marilyn Manson for a while. I never thought she was that attractive.
I'm going to look it up. And Chris says, those rims look so wrong on an MKL Golf / Caribe / Rabbit.
That would be Mark 1. What do you think of the taillights, Chris? The interior is a little hard to take.
Dean says, at Ottawa Polytechnic, we had to figure out how to protect an egg from a 15-meter drop. I used a droid parachute. Death proof.
Yeah. I've seen contests like that.
I've heard of contests like that.
Well, no, with it, Chris, those taillights, that's the way you're supposed to install them. The turn signals and reverse lights are on top and the brake lights are on the bottom. But, you know, they do look better than the original.
Why are you taking my job?
Because I'm reading.
Rude. Jay says, not Rose McGowan. She died early in the film. There was a cool song with lyrics about Don Mexico in the movie.
Mhm.
Glenn says, I'm a creature of habits. That's why sorry. I'm a creature of habits. That's why I watch the Three Stooges every Saturday at this time.
Haven't you seen all the? I need to see the name. Haven't you seen all of the Three Stooges by now, Glenn?
Well, let's.
They only had so many shows and movies and stuff.
You didn't ask when he started watching it. Maybe it's a recent habit.
Jay, Rose McGowan died early in the movie. I'm gonna have to watch it. Chris is talking to Glenn Nickerson. I didn't know the put up money in cars. Of course they don't. Sure they do. Look, can coin.
What?
I don't know. Glenn Nickerson. 100 times over. But I watch Mexican Spec reruns too. I have reruns. You're watching my old videos.
I do like to watch the one with the walk around of the and storytelling of the
Ram Charger.
yes, Ram Church. Thank you.
I may repost that.
I know I was there, but I like to
Yeah.
hear the story over and over
I
again.
may repost that video.
You have to repost it on the date that you posted it.
I don't remember what day I posted it.
We'll look at the.
It's in there, I know.
And Jay says, "Is if you like Quentin Tarantino films, you will like Death Proof." I don't really like I like the Kill Bill
I'm
movies.
not really that into feet.
I like Kill Bill, but that's about it. Gearhead says, "You're thinking of Zoe Bell. She's Kiwi." I don't know who you guys are talking about.
I don't know.
I only know one Rose, and I can't remember her last name. And she's a model as well, and has a lot of tattoos and short hair.
There was a Rose on Golden Girls.
No, that's
Betty White played her. This is an interesting shot on the Pacer. You can look, the door is bigger on the right side than the left side, and from here you can tell the extra part they put on the right side door.
Jay says, "I like Kill Bill, and yes, Zoe Bell."
I think that's the last picture.
Maybe.
Oh no!
Why are you the last picture? Is it only one picture of that?
This is a Monte Carlo.
No. I mean, yes, but
It's
no.
got a
It's not
front
the
wheel
last
drive wheel cover on the back, but it's almost the same. All of these Monte Carlos, every one of them in Mexico, had a 350 under the hood. Most of them were automatics, except for the 84, which were the SS with stick shift. But you get the 350 power in these. This is a pretty nice car.
Chris says to Glenn, Soitanli? I don't know what that means.
Blah, blah.
Jay says, anyone else like Whistling Diesel?
No.
Okay. That was a very straightforward answer.
I won't watch him. All he does is destroy things, and I can't watch that.
He doesn't like the destruction of cars.
No.
But you do watch, sometimes, you do watch the monster trucks events.
Yes.
Yes. And they destroy cars.
But they're not destroying cars. They got those cars out of the junkyard. They're not taking cars off the street that are in perfect condition and crushing them.
Who likes monster trucks? I love monster trucks. I don't follow them. Like, I wouldn't know many of their names, but I like monster trucks.
Chris is with me.
Chris says, wait. Gearhead says, you think of Ruby Rose and Spec. Yeah, Ruby Rose. Yeah, that's the Rose I was thinking about. Uh, Chris says, never had an inclination to watch him. Gearhead says, Gravedigger. Yeah, Gravedigger. I love Gravedigger.
So many different grave diggers out there. Can you reset the pictures?
Give me a second.
I don't know why people don't want more Mexican Monte Carlos, since they were equipped with the drivetrain that everybody wanted in the U.S. Monte Carlos.
Dean says, when he cut off his beard, he broke Mitzvah 69. Just saying. It's the same 5 points you're not supposed to mark in New Zealand and as it is in Canada and Alaska. I don't know what that was. Gearhead says last count was like 33.
33 grave diggers.
I guess. Jay says, I want one. On what? Monster truck?
A Monte Carlo.
Oh.
Probably.
Gearhead says, yep. To grave diggers.
I mean, the Monte Carlo in Mexico was about the most luxurious car you could get, with the soft seats and the big engine and all the options that most Mexican cars did not have.
Stop. Dean says to Glenn, tell Cold War Motors to grow it back.
I don't think he's going to grow it back. Somebody asked him in the live chat about shaving. He says, yeah, I've shaved 10 times since then, because now he has to keep it
trimmed.
Yeah, he has to keep it clean. He can't just start growing stubble and stuff. He has to shave all the time. And that's something I hate. I hate shaving.
Jay says, I don't understand that, Dean. We're on the same boat, darling. I wouldn't care about you not shaving if you were to take better care of your beard, because you don't take care of your beard.
No, it's got to grow out.
Yeah, but like take care of it, like wash it and stuff, and put like moisturizing oil and stuff.
I'm not gonna spend all that money for.
No, well then don't grow it. Chris says, sounds like Dean has an exhaust leak under his driver's seat. Dean says, I'm talking the piss out of Scott from Cold War Motors.
Taking the piss out of Scott.
Taking
which
the
is
piss.
joking about him.
Glenn says, Dean, I think he looks better. Easier upkeep.
Yes, but the voice is the same. So we can close our eyes and we know exactly what he says.
Wait, I just remember. I just saw a TikTok of a guy. The guy was walking down the street and he had a mustache. And he was just walking down the street and he was saying, I just made out with another guy with a mustache. And I have to say, I really apologize to one of the girls that I made out with when I had this mustache. Now you know how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
So you never know until you try it.
Yep. Dean says, well, I have another 613 Old Testament laws to discuss. Maybe some other time. 613? Oh, the Old Testament.
Does anybody want a stick shift Ram Charger?
Okay.
This is a nice one.
I really like it.
It's very red. And the license plate says goo. Goo.
Isn't that the game?
What?
No. Anyway. Jay says, sorry, not making out with a dude. It doesn't have to be a dude.
There's women with mustaches.
Yes. Chris says, sounds like Mrs. Spec wants that Ram Charger. Get on it, Mr. Spec.
She doesn't know how to drive a regular vehicle, let alone a stick shift.
You haven't taught me. That's why. Dean says, yeah, that 10 Commandments stuff was all horse poo. 613 peeps. How many rocks were those?
How many tablets?
Yeah, how many tablets were those? Glenn says, I shave every day. Only way I can keep up in the morning and helps.
Wake up in the morning.
Oh, sorry. I'm I'm sleepy still. I need more coffee. Glenn says, I shave every day. Only way I can wake up in the morning and helps keep my plumbing humming, if you know what I mean.
How does the shaving help that?
What is plumbing humming?
We're old men.
Dean says on 2 tablets, Hebrew is efficient. Okay.
Not very.
Um,
You got to read it backwards to forwards.
Jay says, is that an echo? Do you hear an echo?
Echo.
Maybe my microphone. Oh, my microphone is dead.
I think he's asking about the car.
Um,
Mine's still on. Mrs. Speck's microphone died, so you might hear her a little less now. Mine still has the green light.
Tavo says, I have the freedom to not worry about my facial hair or general appearance unless I have to go somewhere.
Exactly. If I have to go deliver a car, I'll shave.
Jay says, Toyota Echo. Oh, okay. What? Dean
can't read that
says, Mexican Spec and Mrs. Spec are in the bathroom, Jay. No, the bathroom is too hot. Jay says, the car on the screen.
You're talking about the little Chevy? The little red Chevy? That was called a Chevy Joy. And then they dropped the Joy and just called it a Chevy because it didn't warrant a real name. Not a Chevrolet, but a Chevy.
Dean says to Tavo, when you look like James Bond, like you do, is never a problem.
And when you live out in the middle of nowhere and the cats don't really care, it's not a problem.
If the cats are cuddly, they like to rub against your beard.
Yeah. Joy will lick my beard. He'll try to groom me. Even he's telling me to shave to brush it.
So cute. Jay says, great car before the truck. Dan says to Dean, I look more like James May or a bad day. Dean says, yeah, it's an echo. It's not an echo.
We don't have echoes here. That was a Chevy. Chevy. That's all they called it, a Chevy. Then when the next body style came out, they called it a Chevy C2, which they stole from Corvette. This is the same vehicle. This red one is the same vehicle, but it's in the truck version of the little Chevy. They call this a Chevy pickup. And that's the only name it ever had.
Dean says, a Chevy badge on a Toyota Echo.
They're not Toyotas. They're not even close to Toyotas. They're Opals. That's what they are. They're Opel Corsos. My neck still hurts.
Tavo says, all based on the Opel Corsa.
Yes, Dean, get with the program. It's an Opel. Barina. No Toyota DNA in there at all. It'd probably be better if it was, but it's not. See, you can buy cheap seat covers.
Not if you want them from cheap leather.
Horrible looking seat covers.
Skin.
I want sheepskins on the truck.
Yeah, but they're not cheap.
They keep it cool.
Dean says, lol, it's opalescent.
Opalescent. Yes. What happened to K? Mopar K.
Tavo says, our Barinas are made in Spain, fully imported. Were made in Spain, fully imported.
Is Spain closer to you than Brazil was? because I think they're Brazilian. This is a Nissan March. This little car is a Nissan March, which they have in I think they call it a Micra in Canada.
Yeah, I think so.
But they call it March here. And again, it serves the purpose of what it needs to do. It's a cheap car that gets you anywhere you want to go.
That was says Micra and Oz too.
Well, I think they dropped that here. They wouldn't call it Micra because the Micra that was here with those big bubble eyes in the front was a horrible looking car.
Jay says Nissan March. I want a Mazda April.
I actually never thought about it in calendar. March, like get going. That's what I always thought of it.
Dean says Mopar K. Well, she's probably doing a Yiwu post like it did 24 hours ago.
She was here earlier, about 60 minutes before the thing started, so she was just checking in.
Mark says, "You still talking? I lost audio. Did your microphone die?" No, still died.
No,
live.
We're fine. Mrs. Spec doesn't have her microphone on anymore, so you may not be hearing her very well.
Chris says, "Audio is normal, Mark." Okay, so it's Mark's issue.
I can put this over here.
What if you put it over here? I can't pet you. A ver. There.
No, it needs to go on the outside.
There.
Yeah. See, now maybe you can hear both of us.
Mark says, "All good. My tab got muted." Okay. Jay says, "I know that Kay isn't playing right now." Playing what?
Isn't playing.
Isn't playing as in she's angry and fighting, or isn't playing as in she's not? She plays games.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I don't know, but she stopped in, so that's fine.
Chris says, "Lol, you telling Mark audios okay when we can't hear you."
But he can read.
Dean says, "I'll bet she's redoing the accelerator pump linkage on an old Holy 4-barrel. I have to remember that. I have 4-barrel. Her husband has, hey, if UTG can do it, so can I.
That'll do it.
Jay says, K don't play is her name.
Mopar K don't play is her name. Yeah. Mopar K don't play.
Chris says, had a teacher in college. First day, he's verbally asking the class if there are any deaf students. Okay.
That was pretty smart. Did anybody raise their hands?
Mark says, "Lol, I like answering on lives when the host asks if he can hear them. I say no."
And we're back to the Volvo.
Dean says, "Mark, it's always the best idea."
Oh, that's still the Ford. Go to the next one.
No. Chris says, everybody started laughing, then he realized what he did. Great calculus teacher.
I wonder if he did it at the beginning of every class just to get people laughing.
Jay loves that Volvo.
Mm-hmm. It is nice.
Dean says, I'd have told no, teacher, but I'm dumb. Glenn said, it's called selective hearing, or at least that's what wife tells me, or something like that, I guess. Don't know, but I wasn't listening there.
Selective hearing got me through 2 years of working at a Chevy dealer. Everybody wanted me to do something for them. So the first day that I worked there, the used car manager hired me to work on the used car lot. And he said, you do not work for the sales department. You do not do what they say. If they want you to do something, you come to me. So ever since then, they would be calling me to the showroom. No, I've got other things to do. I've got this, I've got that. I did not work for them. So I did my own thing. And I had, in the second year I worked there, I was doing all the due bills, all of the work after the sale. So I was turning out probably 10 cars a day, getting them in the morning, getting them done, getting them back to the customers at the end of the day. And that's why I was a 29 waist at the time. They didn't tell me at the time, but they thought I looked sick. When I went back there a couple of years later, they said, oh, you look a lot better now. Well, thanks for telling me at the time. I didn't know. I was just running and running and running all day long, getting everything done. We sold like 300 cars a month. So it was a big job.
Mark says, back in a minute, I have to wake up. She who must be obeyed. Good.
Which dog is that?
Dean says, the most important part, Mexican Spec.
Yeah.
I'm hungry. Not fair. And my bread is drying out in front of them. Fun.
Okay, if we started at 2 o'clock and the pictures run for an hour, then we reset it. How are we at 3:30 right now when it's only 16 minutes into the pictures?
Because we had issues at the beginning.
Hmm.
Mark says, dog, it's the wife.
Oh, okay. That wouldn't occur to me, Mark. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Is that? Oh, I like that.
Yeah, that's scallops. They painted it in there. Problem is, if the hydraulics go out and you're driving it, you're dragging on the ground. So, you know.
Mark says, lol, I might get you hit.
She did flick me.
Oops. Jay says, Mark is going to be in the doghouse.
He wasn't the one that called his wife a dog.
Dean says, juggle all these things, but never drop the red ball. My business mentor told me.
Is that the kind of place we're going to have for the Fury? That I can park it inside with all the lights and everything?
Yeah.
Interesting floor.
Do you want a nice background? Look at the finger. You want a nice background so it reflects off the paint?
No. She does not have shiny paint.
She could.
Yeah.
Could be red.
She could be red if we wrap her.
Jay says that looks like a checker.
The Mercedes does?
Mm-hmm.
It's a big body Mercedes. Just as smooth as can be when it's running.
Lester says that is when Mercedes were built like tanks.
Yeah, they sure were.
When? Not where.
I had a 73 220D with a stick shift in it and the diesel. And man, even on the smallest model, cheapest model they had, the doors closed like they were brand new.
Come back of a leg.
Did it?
Yeah.
Can you guys still hear us?
I'm not plastic.
Are there any deaf people here?
He says, no, we can't hear you. He says, Chris.
That's going to be a problem. You can't even hear us from the microphone on the phone? What?
He just answered your question.
Okay, I fell in the trap.
Sorry. Sorry. Take off the thingy. Oh my god, I can't laugh since COVID, or I'm gonna choke.
Are we allowed to say COVID?
I don't know, man. It's been a couple of years now. Oh shit.
You can't say that either.
What are we laughing about that,
Unfortunately,
bro?
this is a message from Dean. The 13 fatal errors managers make and how to avoid them by W. Stephen Brown identifies common mistakes and tells you how to avoid making them. I don't want to avoid mistakes. Lester says, we can't read you. Can't read your lips. That is true. You cannot read our lips.
Now you have to say Christopher Peppers.
Oh, by the way, Junior Spec is not going to be in here today. He's on a bus going to another town
For a birthday party.
for a birthday party with 9 of his friends from medical school. So he sent me a message yesterday asking for my permission to go. I'm thinking he's 20 years old. Why is he asking for my permission, which is something he's never done before? So I said, what are you really asking? Are you asking for permission, asking for money? He says, I'm asking for permission. My mom says she doesn't want to make the decision by herself, so she wanted me to get your permission. And as soon as I said yes, I get a message from his mother. You said yes?
See, I told you she said no.
She didn't say no.
Well, she was thinking about it.
If he was going on the bus by himself to this other little town, that would have been a problem. But 9 of them together is not going to be a problem. They're going to travel together on the bus. They're going to travel together in the vehicle to go to the party at a ranch, and then they're going to come back together. So it's not going to be a problem. But that's why he's not in here.
Okay, hold on. Lester says we can read your lips. Dean says I can see Mexican Spec's lips moving. Look into his green square and imagine. Look into this green square and imagine.
That is me, the green square.
Dean says superior metallurgy Mexican Spec. Chris says 9 of them together is a baseball team.
Yes, but none of them play sports ball of any kind. They're in medical school. So my son definitely will not. He's not that kind of person anymore.
Dean says the only person I trust to answer that question is Mark.
What was the question? I don't remember a question. So I hear in StreamYard now the program will highlight a question that somebody asks. So there's no reason, there's no excuse anymore for the host to not answer your question when you're typing one in on StreamYard.
Well, if the chat is going by too fast.
Well, then they better slow it down.
Can you?
But I don't know. Like when Tony has Scott from Cold War Motors on live, it's just them two talking. They don't even pay attention to us in the chat. They're just 2 old car guys going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth.
Well, that's what they want. And that's what you're there to watch. So stop complaining.
We are there to participate. That's why we're not watching a video. We're doing it live.
Mark says, what? What does this say? I can't. This is what did I break?
What did I break? What did I break? Yeah, that's a contraction.
Okay, but I didn't know what. What did I break? Oh. And Glenn says if he becomes an optometrist, he could be a Mexican spectacle. Okay.
He's not going for the eyes. No.
Well, you never know. Jay says, yes, I don't like those lives where they're just talking.
Well, when Tony gets together with somebody like that, he forgets that we're there because they've got so much to talk about between themselves. So we have to remind him that we are there.
Tavo says, agree, Megs, just spectators, not interaction on their part.
Yep. But we made Tony promise the next time He's gonna take some questions with him on there. But he had Daniel Solis on there, and I didn't see it because I didn't know it was on. I just caught the last bit of it, but the whole thing was between those two. The whole knurling of the whatever was between those two, so that was the information they needed to get out.
Here, hold this. I'll be back.
Yes, Lester, they always say that next time, but Tony can get carried away. Will anybody answer that, Dean? We appreciate that, Chris. Only visit the streams to chat with us, guys. Ouch. Ouch. Another cat, Joey. You're very vocal. We're on a live right now. Can you keep it down? Please? Yes, but he's not a kite anymore. He's very old. He's got to be 10. Got to be. He was allowed to come in. The other cat invited him in, and he stayed. And he's eating all the food. So his name is Joey Tribbiani. What are you looking for? Tavo, can you type that a bit louder, please, Dean? I didn't quite catch it. He's going to just do it in capitals letters then. Lester, Tony and Scott are enjoyable though. Yes, they are. I didn't even realize this. Scott was younger than me. With the beard, he looked older, but now that he doesn't have the beard, he looks a bit younger. Your cat is 12, Chris? Well, we don't really have, since they're from the street, we don't have birthdays or anything, so we're just estimating with these. El gato. ¿Y tú? Vente. Bien. Dean Stevenson. That's what I love the most about Scott and Steve Maggs on a UTG Live. The oxygen is sucked out of the studio. That's for sure. Glenn Nickerson. 6:40 here and it's dark already. Dark? You're way too far east, Glenn. Dean. I cannot read your lips, Mark. Maybe he has his hand in front of his face. Dean. Tavo. I have a 12, 10, and 1-year-olds. Does the 1-year-old bug the crap out of the other two? Lester. Dean, I'm not deaf, but I'm blind. Chris. Sun's going down here too. Well, you're way east too, Chris. Dean. That was a great time. Knurling is like playing curling. Dean Stevenson. Mark will. You're not going to be part of the live.
Why not?
Tavo says the 1-year-old and 10-year-old play are on par. 1 and 10-year-old are on par for energy and playtime. Well, that's good. The 10-year-old still has that much energy. Kim Fixes Things is here. Lurking. Hello, everyone. And Mexican Spec. Hello, Kim. Thank you for joining us. Are you busy today? Dean, you seem almost plausible, Lester. Mark, what? Who? Are you lost, Mark? As lost as we are? Lester, I'm lurking, Kim. Dean, hi, Kimbergini.
Okay, you're jealous of the cat?
No.
What? What's wrong? Tell me. I'll fix it. Kim Fixes Things says, I just finished filling a ditch with the skid loader. So yes, a big bus, a bit busy.
She knows how to drive big machinery. You had a ditch on your property?
But is she single though?
She lives with Buff, so.
I don't know. I kept asking if you guys were together, but but Mr. Spec could never tell me.
They're not together, they're just living together.
So you're single? Oh.
Ay, ay, ay. Barracuda. And the license plate says ripped.
Oh.
Without even trying.
I have a kitty cat. Kim says the downspout was flooding the crawl space, so I had to dig a ditch to pipe it away.
Oh, okay. So you made the ditch and then filled the ditch.
Mr.
Okay.
Spec was also doing handy stuff this Friday. He was fixing 2 different leaks.
Water leaks. We installed a new water pump in the house, and it's putting out more pressure than the old one ever did. So now everything is, okay, we're leaking here and we're leaking over there, and you need to fix us over here.
Yeah, it's an old house. It was like, what, 60 years old?
At least.
At least.
At least. Probably more than that.
Yeah.
Whenever they built the sugar cane factory over here, they built these houses.
Yep.
So you could probably figure that out.
Chris says, sounds like you need a pressure regulator. We have one of those.
I can lower the pressure. I tried lowering the pressure, but it still seems to come out high. And I like the high pressure when I'm taking a shower, so I'm fixing leaks. Actually, there's a leak before in the pipe coming into the pump, so we're gonna have to fix that too. It's dripping a bit.
Kim says, oh dang, that sounds exciting. Can you adjust the pressure on the pump down a little?
Yes, but we like pressure, having a lot of pressure for the showers and for the hose and everything else.
Kim says, fixing leaks is a good idea anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Glenn says, I couldn't do a live in person. Children would cry and my AI replacement would look like Mo Sleslek from The Simpsons.
The bartender.
I don't know how to pronounce that last name. Dean says, I love that board.
It looks like it's number 1935, made in Mexico. Fanasa, Monterrey. It is for sale, Dean. We could get that car instead of the Fox Body Mustang. I don't know how you'd get to the races with it, but it's a possibility.
Dean says, or Bender from Futurama.
Same difference.
Lester says, is that an Isabella?
I don't know what model it is, Lester. It was made in Mexico. It doesn't say anything on the car, so there's no literature to say what was made in Mexico and not. So I'm not even sure. Maybe I'll look it up on Wikipedia, see if there's anything there. But it's really hard to find documentation on the Mexican cars. Let me ask you guys on this Falcon that's coming up. What do you guys think of these people wrapping vinyl around dashboards, around the instruments and stuff? We saw it on this. These things are going by a lot faster. Pictures on that Falcon there, and then before there was a 65 Galaxy that they did the same thing. They covered the whole dash, and it infringes on the instruments there. Makes it hard to see them.
There is like 2 or 3 videos, so that might have been it.
You kitty cat. Kitty, kitty, kitty. We got 10 minutes left. We've been on here for 2 hours. Well, okay, it says 15 minutes here because we got on a little bit late.
Chris says, "Is the OG dash? If the OG dash is all cracked, what else can you do to make it look better?"
Well, yeah, but they make it so puffy. You know, they like it has a lot of foam in it that it blocks the instruments and stuff. I don't really like it.
Lester says, "I can't decide if I like it or not."
It just looks weird from where it should be. This is another one, the 69 Galaxy or the 70 Galaxy. It was never. That's a dash pad that they took off and they recovered and stitched it and everything else, and it just looks so thick.
Dean says, "Anything is fine. Gavin Nicholson, my dad's lifelong friend, had that car, the 2.6 liter." Chris says, just think of it as extra crash padding."
Well, I hopefully won't crash, but it doesn't look right to me. And of course, it's not going to fit right because there was only room for the dash that it had.
Lester says, "Maybe with less foam."
Well, you can take foam out, so that's a problem. You just have to deal with it, what it is. Now, Mark, I understand what you're saying on this car. It's not a fastback because the window is inset and flat, like the mid '70s Mexican darts. I don't call that one a fastback, even though the roof legs go down the quarter panels. So, yeah, but they did call this sports roof, so we'll just go with that. This is 1 year newer than our wagon. Only 1 year. And it's a U.S. car because it has miles on the dashboard.
Chris says, "Looks like the dash is all swollen like your eye after Mrs. Beck smacks you from your inappropriate comments." I don't smack him.
You're so funny, Chris.
No. Mark says, "Yep." And then he says, "All good, man."
My wagon is green, and it's a '69 model. So it has the wraparound bumper in front. But it's not as nice as this. It's got a Chevy 305 in it, so it starts all the time, every time. Chevys always start for some reason, when nobody else wants to.
It seems like there's a detail on the side right there.
This one looks like it was a Kingswood estate that had the wood on the side, but they took it off but left all the moldings and stuff on it. But it's a 6-passenger wagon. It doesn't have the rear seat. So, or somebody took it out.
Dean says, "Both work the 30 or the 1959 P100 with air springs." And he says 2.3 liter.
Well, there's only one board here, and I don't know what it is. You show up with that to the No Name Nationals, and I think it probably has a 4-cylinder in it. So there won't be a class for you. Can't run in the 6-cylinder class.
So that means you automatically win, right?
No, it means he can't run with the 6-cylinders.
Yeah, but if he's the only one in his class.
I know he can run against Turbo Tom with the Model T. He might win that.
Double says, "A huge Chevy wagon similar to that, not that exact model, were imported here. Black with lots of chrome, used as hearses."
They were probably converted first.
Mark says, "Probably an ET class."
You mean like 20 seconds in the 8th mile?
Dean says, "The stock vacuum from dashboard from 1968 Falcons doesn't last well, so I guess it's okay."
Yeah, they sure don't. And there's no just dashes here in Mexico. People do whatever they can to make the cars look better. But like I said, there was only enough room for the dashboard that was made for it. So you make it all thicker like that, and you're gonna have problem with the doors and the creaking and everything else in there. So that's my issue with it.
Sorry. Mark says like a bracket brace. Put a dial in on your car and run. Dean says 69 customs, galaxies, and LTDs all suffer from that.
Yeah, if they're not garaged most of their life. All of those Fords with the plastic dashboards on them sit out in the sun and then they crack, and it's all of them. This one must be in Michoacan because that's the license plate that's on it. No, it's Mexico City. It starts with an N, so that's Mexico City. Or Estado de Mexico, actually. This was the first car that had the bumper, the brake lights up higher so you could see it. No government regulation, they just put them on these cars. There should be a picture here with them lit up at night. Not like the bumper, the brake lights down there in the bumper. There we go. He's missing a bulb on this side, but they lit up with the brake lights. Compare that to a 65 Riviera, where the majority of them have been rear-ended because they put the tail lights underneath the bumper, in the bumper, but way down low.
Chris says now we legit can barely hear you. Is it because he's talking low or because?
But you had me take the thing out. We only have 8 minutes anyway. Can you hear me now?
Stop yelling.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Yes. To which one, Chris?
No, we can't.
Okay, I'll take that.
Dean says sports roof avoids the coupe or hardtop coupe arguments. Mark says like the sound got turned down. Yeah, he was speaking lower, so that might have been it.
Yeah. Yes.
Stop it!
Well, they need to hear me.
Not when the microphone is on.
You have to actually charge these microphones, which of course didn't happen.
I forgot. I'm sorry. I was doing other things. I had
We'll
jobs.
do it right after the live.
No, because the battery dies. I do it right before the live.
The battery should not die.
But I was busy. Anyway, Dean says plug it up and make it a jacuzzi. What? To what? What?
Plug what up and make what a jacuzzi? I know Colleen has asked me for the tail lights on that charger, a set of tail lights, but I'm not gonna find them here.
Dean says the Kingswood station wagon.
Oh, no, can't do that to a car like that. That's been done to cars, and they don't last very long. Water is very heavy. And here we got a gorgeous blue Galaxy.
Dean says so much room in the back.
Yep.
You keep licking yourself. Stop worrying about me.
You can't say that on a live.
So my cat.
Sure.
You cat keep grooming yourself.
Sure, it was to the cat.
I will be over here.
Two-door Galaxy.
Te vas a caer, feo. Te vas a caer.
Yep, you fell. You're gonna try it again? You try to go up on the bed again? Good luck. Yeah. Yeah. Shut up. And that color looks good on that car. And the nice interior too.
Uno says that's a beautiful Ford two-door sedan.
Yep.
I like your
It's a
two-door.
two-door hardtop, isn't it?
I like your two-door
Yeah,
one.
two-door hardtop. Nobody wants to pet you.
Ah, that's not true.
No. She was just petting you a lot. Go away. Hey, that's my shirt. Clean engine too. Ford blue, which of course the engines weren't painted here that color. They were painted gold here. I don't know why he painted it blue. Maybe to match the paint on the car. I don't know. I'm going to put you in that cat thing. You don't stop messing around.
No. I'm gonna make him afraid. Dean says 351 for barrel.
Did it say 4-barrel on there?
Just for reveal.
Mine was a 2-barrel. My station wagon was a 2-barrel.
Mark says, habanero sauce from McDonald's. I like mixing my ketchup with my green chilies.
The little chili packet.
The green chili packet from McDonald's.
Yeah.
And have my fries with it. Chris says 72 Mustang. Dean says both the blue and the yellow. Uno says 4 doors were called 4 doors. And 2 doors were called 2 doors. F series trucks had fleet sides or flare sides, step sides.
Yep. Flare side.
But 2 doors are also
Oops.
no. I mean the name of the royals in England back in the day.
Scooters. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've been watching a lot of series from England back in the day, so
On this Ford truck, you guys might notice there's no rear side marker lights, and it has the smaller tail lights on it from 1972 because the larger ones were never used on Mexican vehicles. They kept this bed all the way till 1979. Then in 1980, it went to the new style. But people need to stop painting weird colors on engines, especially yellow. Mavericks are good though. All V8s. The majority were stick shifts. Mexico's muscle car. Some of them are still really nice too.
yeah.
Or have been made nice.
I'm a good dog.
And I don't mind the big bumpers. It gives you some place to sit when you're talking to people.
Dean says Maverick Falcon.
This one's a bit newer, so they dropped the Falcon name.
Uno says Blue Jays 10 Yankees 1/8 inning.
So the
Wait,
Yankees,
Blue Jays 10 Yankees 1/8 inning. There you go.
So the Yankees are going to lose because there's no way they're going to get 10 runs in one inning.
What if what if it came from the factory with yellow ball covers and an air filter?
Who painted their engines yellow? I don't know anybody. And if they do, I don't want it. I don't like yellow on an engine. I know Tony painted the 361. He has yellow. I tried to talk him out of it. Didn't work.
Chris says after Yankees. We're not gonna start that.
Aren't they your team, Mr. New York?
That was says Aussie Valiant. Joy, behave. Here, I'm gonna put him on my lap. Joy, come here.
Aussie Valiant Pacer had yellow tops. Why would they do that? Why would they do that, Tavo? Chris says, just because I live in the state of New York doesn't mean I'm automatically a Yankees fan. Yes, it does, Chris. You're just going against the grain. Are you a Mets fan? Or which team do you like? Because you may be from someplace other than New York. We've been on here for 2 hours.
Okay.
So we need to get off because my neck hurts. Although this is a very pretty Mustang too that we'll go out on. So Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and Toronto are physically closer to me than New York City. And every one of those had teams. Cleveland, Ohio, closer to you than New York City. Anyway, thank you everybody for coming and sticking around. We've had a good time. Our little cat here is getting scratched. I don't know what that was.
You muted.
Oh. 245 4-barrel Hemi engine had yellow air cleaner and rocker covers, red block. Somebody was on acid when they did that at the factory there, Dean. Pablo says, adios, cuídense, amigos. So, yeah, we're going to get out of here. Appreciate everybody coming.
Chris says, see most of you tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day. Mark says, looking forward to the next live. Dean says, gluten-free cookie.
Thank you, Dean. Appreciate it.
Kim says, good stream, Mexican Spec. Hope to see some of you tonight on the Buffalo Campus stream. That was his orange block, actually. Thank you so much for coming, you guys.
Thank you very much. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.